the sun brought a ride on my core. This is the moment you're meant to know.
Well, hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Well, I'm here to do a reading on Meg the Stallion and her new boo thing, her new relationship with Klay Thompson, another NBA. I see she likes her men athletic, built. I mean, I'm sure she needs somebody to handle all that body, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, I digress. So, what I found interesting when I was doing some information about Meg the Stallion, because last time I thought she was in a relationship, it was when she was dealing with her court case and she had broken up with that guy shortly after that. However, she has had maybe one or two guys after that. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm honestly not here to shame Meg the Stallion for her relationships, but that is something that people have out there. And I think that A really started when she had that court case and all her business just got spread all the way out there. And because she had already labeled herself as a freak, a big old freak. So put those two and two together, she has sadly ended up in a hole that she does not want herself in or intends to have herself in. However, you know what? That is true Meg the Stallion fashion, because she truly does not care what anybody has to say. She is still living her authentic life, and I know that's right, girl. Anyway, so Meg the Stallion had recently broke up with her previous NBA boyfriend that she was dating. I'm not sure how long they were dating, but there was a 4-month break in between these two relationships. And I'm actually kind of surprised. I'm not going to lie. Because with Meg the Stallion and Klay Thompson, I just recently came across an article describing how Klay Thompson, well, how Klay, how Klay is a very, how could we say, invested in Meg the Stallion's life. He truly wants to be there for her. He loves her loves him. So it's just amazing. But I will read some quotes from here. Actually, I will read this exact article to you. So what I want to bring attention is over the weekend or over this week, Meg the Stallion was having a nonprofit focused on supporting women, children, seniors, and unserviced communities in Houston, Texas. Go Meg, giving back to her hometown. And during that, she had honored her late parents, Thomas Pete III and Holly Thompson. And in that, Klay was asked how does he feel supporting Meg the Stallion at this time, and he said, "Well, it feels incredible because Meg is so much a special person, and she inspires so many around the world. I've seen it firsthand. This is just another incredible feat of hers to be able to give back, create foundation, and raise a ton of money for those in need. And I'm honored to be by her side." I mean, come on, could we? Beautiful words. I mean, who doesn't want a supportive partner like that? That sounds like the words that truly came from the heart. He's like, man, this woman's amazing. I'm glad to be by her side. I'm glad I get to know her. I'm glad I get to say she's my girl. I mean, tell me, how do you guys feel about this, hearing that? But I will keep going. I would keep going. The 4-time NBA champion said that he would have loved to meet Holly and Joe. I know both of them would have been so proud of their only daughter because of what? Not only what she's been able to accomplish, what she's going to continue to do. All right, I know that's right. She has never been put in a box or allowed herself to be put in a box. Oh my God, guys, I swear I didn't read this. I skimmed this. I did not know it was going to go in that direction. He feels the same sentiment. And she just continues to inspire so many people around the world. And on top of that, raise a ton of money this evening. and just do so much for so many in need. That's what he truly honors. He says, I feel like my mom would have been like, wow, you finally picked a this is how she feels as though her parents would feel about the approval of the man she's dating. Her dead parents would approve of who she's dating right now. She says, I feel like my mom would have been like, wow, you finally picked a nice man. We've kissed a lot of frogs, but now we got a real prince. I feel like they would have been very proud. My dad would have been very proud. So hearing all that come from Meg the Stallion is just amazing. It's just honestly amazing. Also, something about Klay. I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but within the same article, it says that he signed a 3-year, 550 million, a 3-year, 50 million contract with Mavericks in 2023. It is 2025, so he's still got a year left out of this contract. Is he going to resign? Who knows, and what's the future for that? However, he has spent 13 seasons with the Warriors, so it seems like he's in this current transitioning phase, just like Meg seems to be coming out of her transitioning phase, and they just seem to be happening to cross each other's paths. So that's what I'm here to talk about, Meg the Stallion and her relationship. Now, I know they just recently went Instagram official like last week, I think. I was going to talk about them and I was going to do a reading on them. However, I felt as though, okay, Megan the Stallion's in a new relationship. Is that really something I should go run and do a reading on? But then when I saw this article and hear all the things that she had to say and how she felt about how her parents would feel about him and how they both just praise each other and seem to be very in love with each other, I'm like, I gotta read cards because this is some good love. And I always love to see some good loving. And because they feel this much for each other so quickly after she just got out of she just got out of a relationship 4 months ago. I'm like, wow, you really feel like you found your person just like that. I've kissed many frogs. Okay, this is a fairy tale story. I mean, I'm not digressing it. Please let that happen to me. I would love to have that fairy tale love story. But I'm just like, how did we come to that so quickly? Like, I get it's love at first sight, but how do you just know that, like, this is the person? That's all I want to know. So, because of that, I'm here to do some cards and do a reading on Meg the Stallion and her reading on Klay Thompson. Because the cards will give me a reading on that, an answer on that. I'm simply going to ask, how's her relationship with Klay Thompson? Is it really truly as beautiful as they make it out to seem? Or is there just a little something that, I mean, we know all relationships have their ups and downs, have their problems. Nothing is truly perfect. Everybody has flaws. But do they just click? Did they just bond? Did they just feel like it was like soulmated and destined to meet and it was like a fated connection? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, is this like meant to be? Like, did Megan the Stallion, you know how some people say, I met my lover, my child from like I've been married, I like met this person in my childhood, they was like my best friend, and we've known each other all these years, and we got married, and we've been married all these years, and we're going to die together. I mean, come on, we all know we want that love story of our childhood best friend being our, I mean, it sounds cute that somebody that has known you for like years and years and years, or it could have been like the type of connection where they felt like they've known each other for years and years and years. I don't know. That's exactly what I'm here to do with tarot reading. So with all that, I'm just happy and giddy for Meg the Stallion. Honestly, I love love. I'm glad to see anybody enjoying themselves and happy in a relationship. So for that, let's see what's going on with Meg. So first, the Six of Wands. Speaking of a transition. The Seven of Pentacles. Okay, I like that. I like that. The Eight of Cups. Okay, okay. I like that in the past section. I like that. The Five of Pentacles. Interesting. And the Seven of Swords. Also interesting. I'm almost curious if I should pick the outside influences now or after the reading, because I really need a card to figure out this ending, but maybe we'll figure it out as we go along. So where do we start here in the present moment? Well, the first card that symbolizes Meg the Stallion and Klay is the fact that they are in this period of transformation. Like I said, they just happen to all the odds, all of the challenges. Usually, this is coming from the Five of Wands, and the Five of Wands is all about friction, battling. Whether this is battling creative ideas, whether this is just having combative energy and literally just being argumentative, being difficult, or something just not going your way, and you always feel like you're fighting physical or metaphorical obstacles. But the Six of Wands symbolizes overcoming all those challenges, moving on, and finally feeling harmonious or some sort of peace in your life at this very moment for both Klay and Meg the Stallion. However, let's just look back in the past. Since I said that, let's see how Meg the Stallion is feeling. We're going to be taking this on from the perspective of Meg the Stallion and how she feels now that she's in this relationship with Klay. Because in the past, we see the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups always symbolizes thinking that you have lost something, feeling like you have the best way I could say this and how this fits for Meg the Stallion in her life is that her dignity could have been lost along the way, or at least she felt like it was. Her image was smeared. People was looking at her a different way. She was getting called names. She was getting judged. She was getting slut shamed. So all of that, she felt like she couldn't. I mean, she had this long lasting relationship that she truly was in. It was dedicated towards each other. And he was stuck through her thick and thin through that court case. But then it just seemed like after the court case, I don't know what got into him, but he seemed to just change up and switch up on Meg the Stallion. And for that, moving on from that relationship, I know that must have felt like betrayal, because that was somebody that was like your long-term boyfriend that had been through you with the hardest period of your life. Somebody that was there for your lowest is now leaving you, or like you guys are leaving each other and it's no longer working. You have to move on from that. It's like it's like feeling like a part of yourself is missing, but you have to keep carrying on. You have to keep chugging on along. Life goes on, even though you feel as though you can't, or maybe is harder to go on. And she has so many other things that she was dealing with too in that time of her life. So to be able to shed all of that and finally come out of the woodworks and meet somebody that made her feel alive again, somebody that made her feel like all those things that she faced in the past, like she said, gotta kiss a lot of frogs, I gotta go through all the bad ones, all the ones that I thought were right, because you get, like they say in those fairy tales, you gotta kiss the frogs, and if you kiss the frog, it turns into the prince. So you gotta kiss, like, just think about it, you gotta kiss a slimy frog. Ugh. So because of that, you just got to go through the wreckage. Sorry, Jennifer Lopez, get out of here. So you got to get through like the wreckage of going through the dating simulation. So because of that, to finally then end up with the one that you finally feel like has maybe that guy that she was with in the past, or maybe she feels like she has came close so many times, but there just wasn't something quite there that clicked. But now she feels like all the puzzle pieces are finally coming together. Maybe she needs to do that inner work on herself to finally attract the man that she truly desired and truly wanted. And now that he has finally manifested and made his way into her life and into her orbit, they're now dating each other. And he's able to like wipe away all those fears. We have the Seven of Pentacles, somebody that is able to see her worth. She's seen her worth. She understands how much she's worthy. And to be able to still be soft in a relationship and still be understood by your partner, and not be like diminished for all your hard work. Like, just because I'm like Meg the Stallion, don't like feel less than yourself. Don't feel as though you're like competing. Don't feel as though I'm just like this big grand thing. Just see me for who I am, me as just a human being. And because of that, he's able to do that. Like you said, she inspires so many people And I'm just glad to be by her side. Like, he's just like, I see how wonderful, how gorgeous in and out this woman is. And I am honored to get to know her and call her my girlfriend. And who knows, maybe call her his wife soon in the future. I don't know. But we weirdly have here in this present moment the Five of Pentacles. Maybe weirdly enough, I mentioned a five. This is the Five of Pentacles, which usually symbolizes, actually the Five of Pentacles goes great with the Eight of Cups, because it still feels as though Megan feels as something is missing within herself, not within this relationship, but within herself. Like, she isn't fully complete. Like, yeah, Klay is everything that I wanted, but there's just something that isn't quite fulfilled within myself. Maybe it could have been the loss of her parents. Maybe she could be still coping with that. Like I said, she has gone through a lot. Has shed a lot. So because of that, it's still getting that acclimation to her new reality, her new way of things, and her new life. So as she does that, it's going to feel a bit awkward. It is going to feel a bit like you can only rely on yourself, because no matter, like I said earlier about how when the person that was there for her when she was at her lowest happens to just not work out when things get better, it's just like, man, nobody but me, Meg the Stallion, can count on me to support me, be there for me, acknowledge my worth. Under, like, she's feeling all that. But if she just changes her perspective, as I always say with the Five of Pentacles, if you just change your perspective, you will really see that you're truly not alone in this situation, and you do have people you can rely on, and there are people that truly love you, and you do have a support team. You don't have to take all that weight and pressure on for yourself. So that's exactly how I feel about Meg the Stallion, and maybe that's how she could be feeling with Klay. How much of him can I allow him, or like trust myself with him? So because of that, as they grow in a relationship, like, yeah, they're like super duper in love right now in this moment, but I still feel here with the Seven of Swords that Megan the Stallion isn't going to pull out all her aces. She's not going to pour her whole heart out. She's not going to give it 100%. She's like, I love. She's like, I'm not going to give love 100. I might not even give it 90. I might give it 80, maybe 75, but not a full 100. So because of that, she's learned to keep some for herself, reserve some of her own energy for herself, and not to give it to everybody. But the Seven of Swords also symbolizes somebody who thinks that they're getting away with something, or somebody that is trying to be sneaky or be sly underneath your nose and think they can slip one or pull a fast one on you. And I'm not sure if that's how Klay is trying to come off, like super supportive, like, yeah, oh man, I love Meg the Stallion. Oh, she's so inspiring. Yeah, I love this woman. And then like later down the lines, it's like he treats her like everybody else. Or maybe that could be her own insecurities that she's feeling. And maybe that's why she isn't fully going to invest herself 100%, because maybe she within herself doesn't fully trust him and she has to work that out with herself, or she just doesn't fully trust him because there's something intuitively within her that's telling her not to fully trust him, so she reserves some for herself. Which way it is, I'm not sure, but we're going to pull the Four Corner of Influencing cards to see exactly what's going on in this picture. The Ten of Cups, the Chariot, the Nine of Wands, and the Hermit. While at least the major arcana cards are at the bottom. The heaviest of the major arcana. No, there are more heavier cards than the major arcana cards. But we have here in the past, or just like what was influencing her love life, because that's what I'm reading on. What was influencing her love life at the time is that she had to move on. But even though she moved on, moving on with that Eight of Cups, the Ten of Cups, she had a happy facade. She kept the happy face. Even though she was sad girl hours, she still kept it hot girl summer. So you never saw her sweat. You never saw her depressed. You always saw her up in the gym working on herself and working on her body. So because of all of that, you did not know that she could have been sad, depressed, maybe feeling lackluster, energetic, not wanting out of bed, all of those things she could have been feeling. But we, as the general public and general audience, didn't know because she put up a great image. I put on a great face. But Klay gets to see a side of her that we don't get to see, that she's able to drop those barriers. But still in the past, we see here is the hermit, even though it's at the bottom. So she has, even though she was still in a hermit stage, however far in this past is, she has slowly been emerging out. Like I said, she did not let that hold her back. She still kept it moving. So even though she felt the need and urge to want to sneak back, retreat, like recluse, hide herself away, don't see it with anybody, allow everybody to say what they want to say about her, and go to obscurity. Basically, she wanted to do that, hide underneath the cupboards, hide underneath the rocks, never be seen again. But she had to prove the haters wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So because of that, we see here in the future what are outside influences that are impacting her love life relationship now. And maybe that could have been how she could have been feeling, because I believe this guy, Tori, in her past, just going back to the past, I think Tori did come after that relationship she had. I'm not sure where he fits. Like I said, I'm not sure how many people she had since that past relationship, but just like looking at the progression of Meg Thee Stallion's dating, her dating ships, and how the people just always seem to want to promiscuify Meg Thee Stallion. It just seems like damn if you do, damn if you don't with Meg Thee Stallion. So because of that, she has to learn to just allow people to talk about her. That's a part of being a celebrity. People are going to talk about you. People are always going to have something to say about you, negative or positive. So let the haters hate, and those that are part of the hotties are part of the hotties, is how she sees it. So moving into the future, when it comes to her relationship in this current present moment, we see here the Nine of Wands. Now, I'm not sure, because this is in the future, I'm not sure if this relationship has mentally worn her out, or if she feels as though she's energetically depleted and she can have a shoulder to lean on, Klay Thompson that being, whenever she gets a bit weary energetically, mentally, or physically, energetically. Because when you're like low in energy, you really don't want to do anything. And that's what I was saying earlier. I'm like, you don't know if that's how Megan Thee Stallion was feeling. And she had to keep herself going and be her own prep talk. And now she no longer has that, because she has somebody else there that loves and is on equal footing with her and feels about her the same way she feels about herself. So therefore, she could find ways to slip away, find ways to let certain masks down, certain guards down, get to allow him to come in, even though she might be a bit weary, all because of her past, which I keep to seem to bring up, which I hate to keep bringing up people's past, but A, that just always comes with Meg Thee Stallion, and B, just like the Chariot says, all about, and perfectly sums up this entire reading of Megan Thee Stallion trying to move forward from her past. Maybe she's feeling a bit stagnation, a stalling when it comes to her love life. Maybe it could be that this relationship is something that's going to help her to be able to move forward from all that past hurt and be able to reprocess, be able to heal and grow moving forward with him in this relationship. So let's just pull the oracle cards just to see what the cards are going to say about Klay and Meg and their relationship and the overall energy around it. Because even though I extensively talked about Meg Thee Stallion and how she's dealing with her love life, I do feel as though when it comes to Klay seems to be like that healing piece, somebody that gets her. Somebody that she like doesn't have to explain herself to. Somebody that just like understands her, has that like unconditional love for her, is willing to accept her and all her flaws. So with that, let's just see what the oracle has to say. Shall we? Shall we take these two cards? Yes, we shall take these two cards. Ooh, I like that. Very feminine energy. Water and cat. Water is ultimate feminine energy. Speaking of all this energy with this wands, because even though wands is energy, water is feminine energy, while wands is masculine energy. But I'm not here to talk about the differences between fire and water. But water is feminine energy, and cats, felines, feminine energy. So because of that, we definitely see here that when it comes to her relationship with Klay, he brings out the feminine with it. You know what? The best way I'll say it is the best thing that feminines do is be a support, be a guiding hand, be nurturing, being able to help refill you. Like it says, lovable. Cats are lovable. They're calculating in the sense of they just don't trust anybody. They just don't open up to anybody. They aren't just loyal to anybody. And honestly, like they say about cats, and I honestly think it's true. I think cats pick their owners who they choose to rule over them, love them, and who they choose to want to give their love to. So if you get picked by a cat, then you're like bonded and mated for life in a sense. Now, I'm not sure that's how it's going to be for Meg the Stallion and Klay Thompson. I sort of hope so. Please, 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 please. Let that be the case, that they are like bonded and they truly found themselves in each other in this life forever and a day. And to like death do them part. I really hope that this is what it is for her. But they definitely feel as though that they have some sort of connection that allows both of them to allow Megan to be her feminine self as the feminine she is, but also Klay to be feminine in the sense of being supportive, being there, and all the things that a feminine does. Not saying that he's any more or less masculine, but to be able to have that nice bow, to have that nice blend of both masculine and feminine, being able to be fluid, knowing when to pull in and out of those relationship energies and use them to your advantages to elevate and move forward in this life is what it's all about, manipulating energy. So therefore, and with water is very deep, it's emotional, it's sensitive, and it's all about that life force. B, which is all about that feminine energy. And that's exactly what I feel like both of them are bringing to the table. And that's something that they both need, a healing type of nurturing relationship. I'm not sure exactly what has gone on in Klay Thompson's life, but he seems to be grateful to know Meg the Stallion. And Meg the Stallion seems grateful to have him in her life after all of that she's been through. So they are both just genuinely grateful, both loving each other, and they are both just wanting to support and pour into each other. So therefore it's a equal balance relationship. Honestly, no one party's pouring more into the other. They both want to pour into each other equally. And that's what you want in a relationship and in a partner. So that was a very good reading for Meg the Stallion and Klay Thompson. I sure enjoyed this. I hope this relationship lasts. And tell me, how do you feel about this relationship or this reading down in the comments below? Do you wish that love finds you like this? I sure do. I wish I could have that kind of love. This reading sounds good if you ask me. So with that being said, I love here. So anytime there's a beautiful love story, I'm just going to gush over it and just enjoy it, because love makes the world go around. I'm always going to say that forever, because it's the truth, honestly. Because with love, everybody feels accepted. Nobody's honestly dying, and everybody feels heard and seen. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I sure did. Please give this video a thumbs up and share this with anybody that's into Meg the Stallion, anybody that's into sports news, anybody that's into tarot readings, anybody that's into love, or anybody that does not know that Megan the Stallion's into a new relationship or is into news and tarot. So with that's a bunch of people that you could probably send this video to. So with that being said, please and thank you. We will really appreciate it. But most of all, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It would really mean a lot to our channel. And with that being said, I will see you sunflowers in the next one. Oh, sorry, sunflowers.